Good evening, everyone. October 2nd, Board of Selectmen's meeting. We have just returned from our executive session. And would you all please rise, pledge allegiance to our flag? Excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May I have a motion on the minutes, please?
Motion to accept as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Buckley, you came in just in the nick of time.
Sorry, I was up.
That's all right, sir.
Good evening. I have some updates from the Highway Department. I'm going to go over the last month's worth of activities. We completed cutting at this point of all 63 detention areas throughout the town. Completed brush and debris grinding from last winter's storms over at our brush dump, and that's all ground down into wood chips now and will be available in the spring. Some of the residents like to come in and take it as compost. So one season of breakdown, it should be available in the spring when we reopen the brush dump. It was quite a bit of it was taken by residents last year. So
Good.
Road flooding, we had some road flooding in the Ramblewood area, Cynthia and Elizabeth Drive. We brought in a contractor to jet out some of the drain lines to alleviate that problem. Seems to have relieved it. There was some root matter in some of the pipes that we were able to flush out, so it should be improved on the next heavy rain that we get. Our on-call crew that we have that rotates the some of the emergency calls went to a 2-day training, chainsaw safety training class. The first part was in the spring. The second part we just completed recently over at the cemetery on Pleasant Street. I worked with Brian Glavin, and they were able to, each one of the participants cut down a tree after the training, and it's part of an area that Brian wants to expand in the future, so it was kind of a mutual benefit that Maya put the training on, and we were able to get our guys trained and also help out the cemetery with cutting some of the trees.
And nobody got hurt?
And nobody got hurt.
Good.
So hopefully they'll be safer out there during emergency after this training. We've been working on a couple of our older salt spreader trucks. We still have one truck that we're not able to get running again, so we've got an issue with that. We're hopefully trying to rectify that before winter. Doing construction oversight in conjunction with the building inspector and planning board for Raynham Preserve, Doe Run, a small extension of Pine Street on the other side. We still have pending White Street construction for this year. We've been delayed on the startup of our sidewalk project, and I'm still being told it's going to begin sometime in October. Along with that, a pavement markings contract has been delayed because of the rain. They've been trying to come in for week after week, so we're still trying to accomplish that before the end of the season. And White Street will be marked, because right now there's no markings on that road, so as well as Richmond that we paved earlier this year. I completed a 2-day stormwater inspection training just recently, so I'm certified as a stormwater inspector for the new MS4 stormwater permit that went into effect July 1st. I also worked with Dave, and we were able to get the notice of intent filed with our consultant by the end of September for our obligation to do that. Parks and grounds, they've been refurbishing some of the playground areas at La Liberty. They have to replace the wood chips in the area. They're certified wood chips so that children can play in them. So they remove some of the old chips and spread some new chips, and then the state does an inspection on those playground areas. So they were able to get that completed recently. Some landscaping for the soccer fields, general maintenance and mowings, continuing with all the rain we've had. Doing trail maintenance for the cycling event that's coming up on October 17th down at the Borden Colony. And the last thing I have is the solar project is still ongoing and moving along. That's about all I have for tonight.
Very good. Congratulations for getting certified in that stormwater thing.
Thank you.
I'm sure that must have taken a little bit of effort.
Yep, 2 days in Waltham. So.
Joe?
No questions, thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank you, Mr. Buckley, for all that you and your department does. And on behalf of our RAVE organization, also thank you for taking on the project of putting out our flags, working with our fire department for our patriotic holidays. Veterans Day will be coming up. And actually, we just received a very generous donation from someone who lives on Pleasant Street, just a little beyond where the flags currently go, so we may have a couple more flags for you. Hopefully that won't be too much more work, but I know it'll
What's
be
a couple
beautiful.
more?
Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Before we go any further, I remiss in not reminding everyone that we are on cable. So just remember that. We are recorded live by Raycam. Let's see, we have no appointments this evening. Citizen input. Yes, please, sir.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Leahy. As you all know, I'm employed by the town of Raynham as a police officer. Born and brought up in Raynham. Along with being a police officer, I'm in the reserves, the military. And just recently, I completed a deployment to Iraq. But leading up to the deployment, the town administrator, Board of Selectmen, our VSO representative, Chief Donovan, had been nothing but supportive. And my wife and I, and my son Connor, couldn't be more appreciative. And the only reason I came here tonight was to extend that gratitude and a big thank you to all of you in the town of Raynham. I think it says a lot for the community, for all the support for service members, past, present, and in the future. So with that said, while I was in Iraq, I had a flag flown for the town of Raynham, and I wanted to just dedicate it to all of you, and just a small token of my appreciation, my wife's and Connor's. So.
Patrick, thank you so very much.
Appreciate it. So I just put it in the center here. Is that the best location? So the flag was flown. This certificate just states for the February 25th. Certifies that the flag, company American flag, was flown in the face of the enemy. The United States Special Operations Forces at Camp Keating IV in Baghdad, Iraq, during Operation Inherent Resolve. And it just says for the town of Raynham on Sunday, February 25th. So thank you again. I really appreciate everything, all the support. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks again. Thank you. Thanks, Matt. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're being very nice with saying thank you to us, but it is we who should be saying thank you to you for all the many, many days of service.
Well, you went above and beyond supporting us, and stress level comes down when you have the support of the community. So thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. We have no public hearings this evening. Do we have any new business?
Madam Chair, do you perhaps want to take capital planning under new business?
I can't do that if this is the wish of the board.
I would say.
Sure, no problem.
We have the chairman of the Finance Committee here and the chairman of the Capital Planning Committee.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have some good pointers toward the plan of action for the November meeting. And I'll run through them briefly.
Thank you, sir. Could you print it any smaller?
I'm trying to save money. Are these?
Never mind trying to save money. I can't even see
It's
it.
3 pages, Gil? Or,
No, it's just a single page.
so you gave me 3.
You must make sure you read it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Now, you'll notice these pages differ a little bit, but they're somewhat similar. It's coming together, shall we say. I can start out first with the sewer department. And our plan of action there is to install a new emergency generator at the Paramount Power Station to accommodate the new pumps and control panel, and replace one 1987 one-ton dump truck. That's a total funding of 220, and it's coming directly from the Sewer Enterprise Fund, so it's not coming from free cash. The Highway Department is the next major item on the agenda. We plan to finish funding the salt shed from free cash, but there is a chance that may come from sewer overlay funding. We're awaiting the findings of sewer overlay on that. That number will be $600,000. Replace one 1996 pickup truck at a cost of $60,000. Replace one 1994 Highway Department heavy duty truck at a cost of, that's a 10-wheeler at a cost of $266,000. He has one 10-wheeler in the fleet currently. He has about six wheelers in the fleet. In a perfect world, he would love to get another 6-wheeler for push power, etc., etc. The total spending for a highway is approximately $980,000. We go on to the fire department. The public safety fire station expansion is under feasibility study and on hold currently, so we're awaiting findings on that. Turnout gear comes to approximately $100,000. We recommend funding that. The ambulance second half fiscal year 2018 is approximately plus minus $350,000, and that's coming from the ambulance revolving account and some personal expenses the fire department has. The next item is police. Police are looking for 3 cars, two patrol units and 1 detective's vehicle. To use rounding again, total cost of about $175,000. They may be tweaked as we get closer to town meeting. The recommendation of purchasing and installing a security fence was put on hold, again because of the feasibility study on the public safety building, etc. So we're awaiting findings on that. License plate readers, which is a great boon to the town, approximately free cash, $24,000. Park and Rec is getting a new tractor and attachments that were recommended for about $50,000. Cemetery is getting a new leaf blower for a leaf machine for about $10,000. And then we go on to the Selectmen proposed dog park, up for discussion still at town meeting, but penciled in for $10,000. Town hall attic insulation, roughly $20,000 cost to the town. An ICB vote tabulator bundle and warranty, approximately, to use rounding again, $21,600. The total spending proposals for the town will come to, and again it's a moving target, about $1.4 million. There'll be push and pull as we go closer to the article and print the articles, but loosely we're at about 1.4 million going to press. Thank you very much. Any questions from any of you? From me?
No, Mr. Chairman, I think as always you and your team do a phenomenal job, and I don't think people always recognize how much work goes into evaluating the proposals and developing recommendations, and so as always, my appreciation to you, and it's nice to see you, as I've told you before, back at it, Brendan.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Back at it like a dog, yeah.
Yes.
We're doing the very best we can.
Yes.
And again, the numbers are changing. There is a lot of discussion as we go through the process, but bear in mind, my genuine opinion of it is everyone has the town's best wishes at heart
Absolutely.
as they wander through the process.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Does anybody else have any questions? Pat, do you have any questions
No,
at
but
this
we just
point?
did receive something from the school district. Has that been forwarded to the capital planning committee?
We can forward it right now if you want, Miss Riley.
Please.
Okay. Dave, you want my copy?
Okay.
Save on postage.
That's right.
Will you be meeting again next week? Where is he?
He's in the back.
Brendan, will you be meeting again?
We meet at least once or twice a month.
Okay,
But yes, we should fine tune a couple of fine things.
right.
Finance Committee will be meeting next Tuesday to review a couple of things and then recommend the articles.
Good. I think we, just so you guys know, I think we put, was it October 16th, Dave, as the deadline?
No, it was the
23rd. 23rd, so October 23rd, that's when we plan on closing the warrant, just so you all are aware.
Any questions, comments, or anything at this point in time?
No,
No.
I just would echo Joe's comments and say thank you for all of your time and effort.
Any old business?
None, Madam Chair.
Town Administrator, would you like to give your report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few ongoing projects and reminders. Special town meeting, which we discussed, is scheduled for November 19th at the middle school. Pre-town meeting is the previous Tuesday, and November 13th at 7 p.m., and it will be located in this room. A reminder, I believe Historical Commission needs 2 more members, and contact Pat Riley or Selectmen's office if interested. And also another reminder that the Board of Selectmen's meetings on October 23rd and October 30th will be held at the South School due to early voter registration here at Town Hall. Next Selectmen's meeting is October 9th at 7 p.m. here. Next Department Head meeting will be October 18th at 9:30. And Southeastern Mass Health Group meeting is October 11th in Seekonk, and the Sursage meeting is October 3rd, tomorrow, 9 a.m. in Mansfield.
Selectmen's report, anybody have anything?
I actually do not have anything tonight, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Pat?
I have a few things.
Yep.
Just want to mention that the next meeting of the proposed Route 138 rezoning discussion is scheduled for October 10th at 6:30 here in this room. Also, just wanted to give a little report. Our RAVE Board of Directors had their first meeting of the 2018-2019 school year last night. Lisa McCoy is the new president, Linda Teixeira is our vice president, Robin Burns is treasurer, and Becky George is continuing as our volunteer coordinator. New board members elected include Anita Rodriguez, our new La Liberty principal, and Paul Jovelos, who's the director of student services for the district. Superintendent Swenson updated the board on Bridgewater Raynham News. Following up on what Chief Donovan told us last week, the district is focusing on the ALICE prevention training, and over 40 individuals, including police, firefighters, and community members, were recently trained as trainers. In addition, safety upgrades to the district schools have taken place, including upgrades to Merrill and La Liberty. The MCAS results in general were good, with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education determining that the district met all of its accountability requirements and does not require any assistance or intervention. The highlight of the results, of course, is that the Raynham's La Liberty earned an A+. The La Liberty Elementary School was one of only 52 schools out of 5,800 schools in the state to be designated by the Commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Education and Secondary Education as a school of recognition, placing it in the top 1% of all schools in the state. So kudos to former principal, La Liberty Principal Dennis Bray and his faculty and staff, and everyone, including parents who support the schools. and of course the students too. Combined with the Raynham Middle School's 3 years of achievement as a Level 1 school, Raynham should be very proud of its schools. As Mr. Swenson pointed out, Merrill Principal Deb Westell and the Merrill faculty and staff should also be proud, because Merrill is the feeder school for La Liberty, obviously, and it's all connected. Also, the principals and PTO presidents reported on all the activities that go on in the school. As you know, you've attended that meeting before, Mrs. Smith, and it is amazing, and I don't think we realize, unless you're really involved, everything that goes on. And so much now involved in addition to education, culture, and social and emotional concerns. Mr. Swenson pointed out that it was brought to his attention that surveys have indicated such a dramatic shift in the sense of insecurity that we all have living in a post-9/11 world, and that translates to our children as well. So that's something they're all concerned about. And our schools are really a hub of so much activity. The La Liberty Parents Organization just had its first social event Monday night, and 400 people attended an ice cream social.
Oh, my goodness.
I wish I'd known. I would have gone too. But, and obviously, as far as RAVE is concerned, our coordinator, Becky George, is holding trainings for new volunteers. So far, she's trained 28 new volunteers. RAVE is going to be reactivating its Homework Helpers Club at the Raynham Middle School, using Junior National Honor Society 8th grade students and high school students as mentors. The Mary Lou Arruda Child Safety Program, under the direction of Rachel King and retired Police Chief Peter King, will take place this month. Our Veterans Day assemblies are being planned at our 3 schools, and our annual holiday craft fair will take place on Saturday, December 1st at the La Liberty Elementary School, and just a lot of wonderful activities going on at our schools. I did want to mention, we did get a report back from Mr. Flaherty provided us from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Department of Public Health, because we had mentioned earlier concerns about the air quality, and I think it's important to report, because I know we had discussed it earlier, that the overall findings were that the carbon dioxide levels were below guidelines in this building, temperatures were within the MDPH recommended range, carbon monoxide levels were non-detect throughout all areas surveyed, fine particulate matter concentrations measured were below, again, national standards. The only area of concern, relative humidity, was above, and obviously it was summertime when they did check that all out. They have some recommendations, which I know our town administrator is referring to our HVAC person, and I think as already mentioned, some of the concerns will be going to town meeting to be addressed. Particularly mentioned some dehumidifiers possibly in the lower level. I think it was interesting too, I noticed that it mentioned that to ensure that all windows are closed when the air conditioning is operating, because using air conditioning or the HVAC, when the HVAC system is in chilly mode, the windows are open, that can form condensation and can cause a mold. So there's some good recommendations, and I know we'll pay attention to all of those, so I wanted to mention that. And I think that's all I have right now.
That's very good. Thank you very kindly. In reference to your comment about the 138 meeting, we did have one meeting, and I was sorely disappointed myself that there were not more people who technically actually live on 138 that attended that meeting. Now, the next meeting is going to be on October 10th, and it's going to be at 6:30 here. And I really wish that the people who physically live on 138, who's going to be impacted the most on whatever is done, please come to the meeting and voice your opinion. That's all I have to say. It's an open meeting, and people are very nice here. We'd like to see you come and voice your opinion. What do you want? How do you feel about certain things? So please remember October 10th. And come to that. And yes, Pat, I did go over that whole thing, so thank you for reporting on that as well as you did do. And I'm sure that David is jumping all over any recommendations that we have there. The only other comment that I have to make is, have you all got your patches yet? Police Department is selling patches, Pink Patch Program, and it is to benefit breast cancer. So therefore, I think you can get them at the town clerk's office.
Yep.
So everybody, please come by and pick up your pink patch. I have mine. Joe,
I'm going to get mine.
you better get yours. Okay, let's see. I have a little bit of correspondence, not much, but a little bit. First thing I do have is a letter from the Massachusetts Office on Disabilities. Now, last year, they reached out to us regarding our Commission on Disabilities, which we do not have a duly established Commission on Disabilities. Now, Joe, you more familiar with this than I?
I have some familiarity. It's one of the programs that Governor Baker's been trying to get off the ground to bring some more
Right.
awareness to the disability community. And I believe in my email either yesterday or today, it's Disability Awareness Month, I believe it is. I got that from my big boss.
Good.
Yes, so the governor's making a conscious effort to try to have our communities be more aware of people with disabilities. And I think the most important takeaway I would take from that, Madam Chair, is that not all disabilities are visible, and not all disabilities are the same. And so, you hear about a disability, and there might be those unique dynamics to that particular person, or again, disabilities that some of us aren't aware of. And so the biggest refrain, I think, is that we just all continue to be kind and respectful and understanding.
According to this letter, the Commission on Disabilities is looking for us to establish a commission consisting of no less than 5, no more than 13 members. So the governor is requesting all communities that
Yes.
do this.
Yep.
Well, majority of appointed members shall be persons with disabilities, and one may be a member of the immediate family of a person with disabilities. Also, at least one member shall be an elected, appointed, or municipal officer.
I would suggest we take it under advisement and perhaps solicit some feedback from the public if there's any, and I would propose Mr. Flaherty coordinate that effort.
Do I have some-
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, we do have an ADA coordinator. Bob Iafredi is the enforcement for all
Okay.
that, so that's a good start.
That's a good start with it, but definitely.
I will mention, Mrs. Smith, too, that our special education parents advisory council in the schools, they do a really great
Oh, they
job.
do a
Kate
fantastic
Dyer,
job,
right, she
right.
has the disability fair for the children every year, so
Yep.
our schools are doing a really
I
good job.
remember
and-
all the different projects she had, and all
Right.
it was good. She may be something that'd be of interest to her to
Tap
participate
into,
in.
sure.
Maybe you could reach out to her too, see what she wants. Okay. A memo from the treasurer, Michael King, and enclosed, which I'm not going to read to you all, is a proposed investment policy statement for the town's general funds and long-term funds. And it has been reviewed by Bartholomew and Company, Inc., which oversees the investment of Raynham Stabilization and Trust Funds. And once the document is approved by the board, it will be forwarded to Bartholomew and subsequently provided to the town's auditors and financial advisor. It is believed that the adoption of this IPS coupled with the OPEB IBS, which one is that?
Other employment
employees, yep.
benefits.
Could assist in increasing the town's bond rating at the anticipated rating call with Moody's in December prior to the proposed sewer bond offering. Do you want to make a motion on this?
I would motion to approve, and just to echo Treasurer King's comments that our advisors believe that this would make us even more advantageous and in line for another potential bond rating increase. As the board remembers, a little over a year ago, we were elevated to an AA3 rating,
Right.
And this could elevate us again. When I sat in on that conference call with our raters, this was one of the few suggestions that they had where they felt like we had some room for improvement, so I would definitely recommend it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's pass that back to him. Okay. This is to Ed Buckley, and that was the contract amendment for the support services, of which we have already approved.
Yep.
When I came in this evening and I walked into the selectman's office, there was a huge cake there. Of course, half of it was missing, but that's all right. And that was a cake that was presented to the town of Raynham from Walmart. On Friday, September 28, 2018, Walmart on Paramount Drive delivered cakes to the police, fire, and town hall to celebrate its 25 years in the town of Raynham. I can't imagine that it's been 25 years since they have been there, but it actually has.
I
can
remember second grade.
Honest to God, he's really something. Joe was in the second grade when
Yes,
Walmart came
yes.
25 years ago, so that makes you how old, Joe?
Old, but I was in this classroom with Mrs. Riendo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And?
Well, that was it, I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations
Thank you.
to Walmart
Thank you.
for being here for 25 years, and I know that has to be one of the busiest stores that Walmart has, because it is always, you can't get a parking space. So congratulations to them. Let's see, from the American Legion, Post 405 in Raynham, they're requesting a liquor permit for October 14th from 1 to 6, and this is an outdoor permit.
Motion
They
to
must be
approve.
having a
Yep.
lamb bake or something.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is what you're interested in, Mr. Riley. A Crosstober Fest. And this is the bike thing that you do don't you do this every year at Park and Rec?
Ed, you, yeah.
Ed,
But he
yes,
does- He does the one without the beer, I think.
I did it one
you.
year.
I didn't even say the beer, did I?
Well, I know there's beer.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't even say that. I didn't want to incriminate him.
Did it one year.
Yes, and you said it was very enjoyable,
Yes,
and it was good.
and very painful.
That you made it all right?
Physically.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's something to do on a Wednesday if you plan on taking Thursday off. Crossover Beer Fest is a celebration of cyclocross with the poor men playing live on stage, food trucks to eat from, and the local craft beer garden on course to separate from. It gets bigger every year and categories sell out quick. We must be doing something right. And this is presented by Spark, the Poor Men, and local craft breweries. And that's going to be on Wednesday, October 17th, in the Raynham soccer fields. Motion to accept.
Yeah, to approve it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You going this year?
I may attend as a spectator.
Well, if you participate or spectate, please report on it.
Yeah.
And that
The
takes
The band is very entertaining.
Is it?
It's an Irish kind of rock.
Oh, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, like the Dropkick Murphys, if you're familiar with them.
We have no press time and no emergency business. Any emergency business? Nope.
Motion,
Adjournment?
yeah, motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business thereafter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. This meeting is over.